Once upon a time, there was a small town that was famous for its pumpkin pie. The residents prided themselves on their recipe, which had been passed down for generations. But one day, something strange happened. The townspeople began to notice that their pies were disappearing overnight. At first, they thought it was just an animal or a prankster, but as the disappearances continued, they grew increasingly alarmed. One night, a group of friends decided to investigate the strange occurrences. They followed a sickly sweet smell that smelled like a rotting pumpkin pie that led them to an old abandoned barn at the edge of town. Inside, they found a giant pumpkin pie, and to their horror, it was alive. The pie had grown arms and legs, and was covered in a thick crust that resembled armor. It had eyes made of blood and a mouth full of razor-sharp teeth. The friends tried to run, but the pumpkin pie devil was too fast. It chased them through the town, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. It was unstoppable, and no one could figure out how to defeat it. The town was in a state of panic, and people were too afraid to leave their homes. Days turned to weeks, and the pumpkin pie devil continued to terrorize the town. There seemed to be no hope of stopping it until one day a young boy had an idea. He remembered reading a story about a monster that was defeated by being fed so much that it couldn't move. The townspeople decided to try the same tactic with the pumpkin pie devil. They gathered all the pumpkin pies they could find and fed them to the monster. The plan failed, and the pie devil only became stronger. The townspeople were all killed, and the pumpkin pie devil escaped out into the world, and it went who knows where. If you're watching this, dear viewer, watch out for a pumpkin pie devil. Subscribe and check out my Patreon and Subscribestar and Rumble account. I have a Rumble exclusive, and I also post some things that got left on the cutting room floor on Patreon and Subscribestar.